February numbers are in for Lafayette Parish 2026, and man, has Lafayette Parish really jumped off like a freaking rocket. 261 sales compared to 222 sold. That equates to a 17.6 increase in relation to this time last year. So you can take a look, 222 this past month, 262, good bit over 17% increase. It's a 17.6 increase. Ironically, year to date, you can actually tell from January over to February, we had a rocket of a launch pad for going on from where we have been in years past. January's numbers were pretty substantial increase from where they were, from 169 over to 200. This is a 31% increase just from last month. So things are really, really taking off. Moving on into the dollar volume, we see a little bit of another huge jump from 59 million up to 82.8 million. This equates to a 42% increase from last month. So obviously, January is always one of the slower months that pops up. December, unless it's this time last year, you can see how much crazier December was. December ended up being, we go and pull back, we end up seeing like a little bitty hump that'll run through each year. So you can see beginning of the year works its way down, get into January is typically one of the slowest months, but December was a little bit slower. December was a little bit slower than January, and then ended up going the other way around. Well, quite the opposite this year. This one was one of the busiest months. If you look at last December in 2025, that was one of the busiest months over the last 3 years from a dollar volume perspective. Things are really, really on the move up. So what are some of the indicators that we like to take a look at? New listings. This actually, we saw a little bitty dip from January over to February. Slight decrease from 391 down to 375. About an 8% decrease in the total number of new listings taken. If we're taking a look from February to February, 375 compared to 352. That is 375 over to 352, 252. Nice little, a pretty decent little decrease right there. So you can kind of see some of the trend. And this is the homes that are coming onto the market as far as new inventory coming available. A little bit of dip, but slightly outperforming where we were this time last year. So 4.8% February over February, 9% increase compared to where we were this time last year. Homes coming off the market, that is homes going under contract, things that have an agreement between a buyer and a seller, kind of meeting of the minds per se. We did see a little bit of dip from January over to February, 263 homes compared to 295. That is a decrease of 2.4%, but we're still up year to date thanks to last month's freaking just craziness that popped up from 307 at 247. So that 60 home increase compared to January over January is actually carrying over our lead for the year. So it's still 10.7. So if we take a look at homes, both the homes that are coming on the market and coming off the market, they're moving at about a similar pace, just slight advantage over to the pending homes that are coming up for sale, but things are still ticking along mighty well. Interest rates, more 30-year interest rates have been hovering about 6. We've seen a little bit of worsening coming in. We had a couple of reports that didn't favor us where we want to, but we started seeing them tick up just a hair, 6.1, 6.2 on a 30-year fixed. Lots of uneasiness going on into the overseas and the Middle East, particularly with concern on where oil is going to be. Again, as always, these are things that are typically kind of short term. Market tends to overreact both directions, both positively and negatively. But what we are seeing, there are some homes that are out there on the market, luxury, and there's definitely an opportunity to be able to participate in pretty decent discounts that are going on in there. And depending on where you are on the selling side or on the move up side, we are in need of inventory even up to 500,000. So could be in the possibility where you sell high, buy low, which is obviously a great spot to be in if few folks are in the market to be able to kind of check out to see what that happens to look like. So if you're interested in finding out what your equity position is, shoot me a DM or give me a call, 337-658-5690. If you want to know what's going on in your zip code specifically, click on the first link in the comments. You get a chance to go and do a little digging in there. And if you need some help understand what that happens to look like, I am here to help you. And as always, yes, you can buy. Yes, you can sell. And if you need some help, give me a shout.